listening to Evergreen Media Network. I am Cindy Schwartz, and this is the Patient Partner Podcast with my co-host, Jeannie Roller. Jeannie, you are in Indiana. I am in South Florida. This podcast is sponsored by PloopBags.com, and it is a fully flushable dog waste bag. You can also use it for your kitty cats, too. It has a paper layer that they call a comfort layer, so it just makes that yuck a little bit, less yuck when you have to pick up the dog feces and the cat waste and all of that, and flush it in your toilet and be done with it. PloopBags.com. Jeannie, let's talk about statins today. That's a favorite subject on a lot of medical people's minds and lips, that they really want to push that prescription for statins, among other things. And I'm not a doctor, I'm not a lawyer, neither are you, Jeannie, and some of the stuff I just don't get. They have new criteria for what would be the best optimum shape your body is in not to need statins. So let's talk about some of that stuff, Jeannie.
Yeah. Well, Cindy, we were talking earlier that they have, again, lowered what they consider acceptable. Your total cholesterol needs to be under 200.
Yes.
And anything over 200 to 239 is borderline, and anything 240 and above is high.
Mm-hmm.
So, they just keep lowering it, because in my opinion, eventually they'd like to see everyone. And there are a lot of kids nowadays on statins.
Yes. Yeah. And there's advertisements for kids being on statins.
Yeah. It's a big, big money maker. But the thing is, Cindy, that a lot of people who have heart attacks, my husband included, do not have high cholesterol.
Mm-hmm.
And more interesting, his bad cholesterol, the LDL, his was within the normal or acceptable range. It was not, bad. And his high cholesterol was where it needed to be also. So it makes you wonder, taking all these statins, well, if people are having heart attacks and their cholesterol levels are fine, then why do you take a statin? Well, they say that the reasoning is because a statin will stabilize plaque.
Okay.
By increasing high density in calcium, making it less likely to break open and cause a heart attack, even if the overall volume of plaque is increasing.
Okay.
So that's what they say. Now, they've gotten really technical about that before. Before it used to be, we just need to lower your cholesterol.
Right. Yeah, I remember. Hearing that a bunch.
But nowadays, there's more and more people having heart attacks that do not have high cholesterol, do not have bad numbers. So,
I wonder about that too. Yeah. And you know what, Jeannie? I have had doctors tell me and medical people tell me, and again, we're not doctors, we're not in the medical community. It's just conversations we ask about, we hear, and just kind of try to pass it on, say that oftentimes it is not the cholesterol and the plaque that's causing this, that many times it is the low magnesium in people's bodies that causes different heart problems.
Right.
And don't quote me on that.
Or inflammation.
Right, and inflammation, that it is not the other, stress, that kind of thing, that people how many times have you heard, and it's more than once, that a person that's in optimum shape rides a bicycle, across country the whole bit, and they'll die of a heart attack. So it's not always all this other stuff, too. There's other mitigating factors.
Right. Yeah, magnesium and vitamin D deficiencies is another issue. So, vitamin D, sunlight, but then we're told sunlight's bad for us. So,
Well, even in South Florida here, the doctors put you on supplements for D3, and we have sun all the time. It's the sunshine state, so out of the 365 days, we have like 330 of sunshine, so we're on D3. So I don't get that.
Yeah.
And the numbers from my own personal experience with the doctor all along, it was always 200, and 230 used to be the cholesterol overall number for years and years and years. And then they bumped it down to 200. Now you're right. My doctor told me that it's under 200 now. I was like, I don't know. I don't get this stuff. It's too confusing. I don't get it.
For people who've had a heart attack, they want the total cholesterol. A lot of doctors want it under 70, which is like, wow, your functioning begins to dissipate when you have cholesterol levels too low. So, that's something between a person and their doctor, though.
It is,
But
yeah. And I don't, you know what the undue stress puts on you when you have to worry about all that stuff? Your sugar number is this, your cholesterol is numbers. I mean, you're literally like the mouse on the treadmill. Literally. I mean, I'm on overload here, doctor. I'm on overload. I feel fine. I look good. That's it. You know what I mean? I got my weight in line. I'm doing the best I can. At the end of the day, don't you have to live your life? That's what I want to do. I just want to live my life. I get it. I appreciate it in the whole bit. And I get it. You're trying to take good care of me. But some of this stuff just does not make any sense. And I didn't go to medical school, but some of it has to be common sense, I think.
Yeah. Well, on another note, Misty Roberts, our friend at Medical Patient Modesty, she recently done an article about modesty and dignity during cardiac cath procedures. And she told the story about a minister who went in and they belittled him because he didn't want any women involved in intimate care like sponge baths, to catheterize him. Despite the fact that he was very sick, he said no, he would wait for a male RN, and they just, belittled and bullied him. And for many men, this is what happens because unless you can get it done through the wrist, they go through the groin, and a lot of times they will go ahead and prep the groin anyhow, even if you're scheduled for a wrist.
Right.
And there is actually no need for the genitals to be exposed, but they are.
Right. It's
and
easier.
For many men, this is unacceptable. Yeah, it is easier. But there are, and we've talked about this before, there are garments made to prevent that. And, Dr. Bruce, is it Levy or Levy?
It's Levy, Dr. Bruce Levy. He's in Minnesota at a clinic up there, Mayo Clinic.
Yeah, made the cover medical garment. And if hospitals would only spend a few pennies to buy those garments, all this could be avoided. Patients could have the dignity, and staff wouldn't have to see untold, men and women, things that they shouldn't be seeing in that procedure.
And Dr. Bruce, not to interrupt you, he did it because of that also, for his own staff, himself, and the patient. Not just the patient, not just the staff, the whole conglomerate of people. Why put him on the edge of seeing this intimate procedure?
And Misty talked about that a lot of times it's difficult for patients to advocate for their wishes when they are seriously ill or sedated. And she encourages everyone to have advanced directives that clearly express their wishes about intimate procedures, nursing home care, and the type of anesthesia for surgeries. Because we've talked about this often, Versed is the one that they love to use because it will erase your memory. Even though you suffer in real time, it will most likely erase your memory of what you've suffered.
Right.
So I thought this was a very good article. The thing about the advanced directives, they have to be very, very detailed.
Yes.
You need to have them on file with your person. There are some apps that you can get on your phone to put those advanced directives on. Make sure they're filed with the hospitals. Also, I would go to the extra work to have them signed by witnesses so that they can't just say, I would do that. My husband's is. We wrote out everything. We wrote out he no longer will accept Versed, fentanyl. He won't go to certain hospitals.
Yeah, we got like a second left, Jeannie. I get it. You got to take care of yourself. And we're going to do a podcast about advocates too, and how do you have to take care of yourself, I mean, at the end of the day. And thank you, Misty Roberts, for the work that she does. It's amazing. Stay listening to Evergreen Media Network.